Here's a story. um, there was a Jew. His name was David Asulin. Asulin is a very common name for Moroccan Jews, and David Asulin lived in France. He lived in France, and not religious Jew, but he was like this many Sephardic Jews, especially from Morocco, that they have a how do you say a respect for Judaism, and a lot of times they'll go to synagogue on Rosh Hashanah or whatever. Anyway, so he was he wasn't not against Jews, but he was a businessman. He was a businessman, and he was a businessman. So let's see how this goes. Oh, so his friends, they convinced him to come to a Farbringen of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. I think it was Yutet Kislev or something. And he went to the Farbringen of the Rebbe, and they had earphones, so it would translate. So it translated into French. And he listened. A lot of it he didn't understand because it was talking about Torah ideas. But he was in the presence of the Rebbe, and it was very, the Rebbe is a very impressive person. And the Chassidim are very friendly. I mean, even though there's a lot of pushing and pressure over there, but nevertheless, he sort of enjoyed it. And the songs, especially the singing and everything, I was happy, especially Yutet Kislev. Okay, so on these Farbringens, people would come from all over the world, and especially from Chabad houses. And in the end, people would line up, and the Rebbe would give bottles of vodka to anyone who lined up. Usually the people from the Chabad houses or people that had a wedding coming up or something special, because people didn't want to take the Rebbe's time up. So the people would bring a bottle of vodka, sometimes even small bottles. They would bring before the holiday in the daytime, and then the Rebbe would hand it out. The Rebbe would hand it out after his Farbringen or at some point in the Farbringen. Okay, now, so at some point in the Farbringen, the Rebbe started handing out these bottles of vodka that had been given to him from before. And this David Asulin, or Astulin, maybe Asulin. This David Asulin, he was there with everybody. He saw everyone lining up, getting a bottle of vodka. He didn't know that you had to bring a bottle from beforehand. So we just stood in line, and people would go up to the Rebbe. The Rebbe sat like up on the front. It was sort of like raised up so that everybody could hear. There were, a few thousand people or what. And so people would go up to the Rebbe and they say, Rebbe, I have a Chabad house in, Afula. Rebbe, this is for the new building I'm building. Rebbe, this is for the new school. Rebbe, this is for my daughter's wedding. This was this. Everybody said, came up and said what they wanted the bottle for. And the Rebbe would give them a bottle, not necessarily the same bottle that they gave in, but he would give them a. So, but David Asulin, he didn't know these things, so he just went up in front of the Rebbe to receive the dollar. So the Rebbe looks at him, is waiting for him to say something. This is for my Chabad house, this is for my wedding. He doesn't have anything to say, he just wants to get a bottle of vodka. So the Rebbe gives him a bottle of vodka and says, this is for the wedding. True story, this is for the wedding. So he takes it and he goes back, and the custom is also that you would give a little bit. People would stand with their cups, and the Rebbe's vodka. You would give a little drop to everybody. People would drink, make a l'chaim. So he has this bottle. So he's got the bottle, and he takes it home, and he tells his wife he got this bottle. It was by the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Really, yes, and it's very impressive. Very this, and he gave me a bottle. He said, but here it seems that he made a big mistake because he gave me the bottle and said, this is for the wedding. And his wife said, what wedding? You're going to get married to somebody? You're going to divorce me? And everybody's laughing. And what wedding? All of his kids were already married. His children were married. And what wedding? What wedding? Anyway, so they put the bottle away. And they put the bottle away. And the Rosh Hashanah came by and everything. But then somebody told him, he told someone, a Chabad person, I guess once in a while he would go to the Chabad house that's near him. And he said, I think maybe it was even in Afula, could be. But the head of the Chabad house, he mentioned that the head of the Chabad house that he had a bottle of vodka that was given by the Rebbe. So he said, well, do you know that we in Chabad, we don't keep chometz, or we don't keep the vodka given by the Rebbe over Passover. So why not? I can sell it. I can sell it with the chometz. That's the custom. If you have like a whiskey or something like that, so you can sell it to a non-Jew. Officially, you sell it to a non-Jew, and then it's in his possession for Passover, and then you buy it back after Passover. So it's forbidden for you to own chometz on Passover. What is it? Chometz is leavened stuff. So he said, I can sell it to a non-Jew. He said, no. We have in Chabad, we have a custom that vodka was given by the Rebbe. It's not kosher for Passover. And even though you can usually sell things that are not kosher to Passover to a non-Jew, and then he'll give it back to you afterwards, but we don't sell it to a non-Jew. You have to use it. So he said, okay, you have to use it. He talked to his wife, and they decided, let's make a party. We'll make a party. We'll invite the whole family. Don't have to have a reason. We'll rent out. There was a synagogue. There was they had a hall. They were more than happy to rent it out to someone. It was before, 3-4 weeks before Passover. And so they invited everybody to come. They invited the whole family. There was, 200-300 people, big family. And they all came, and they were all celebrating, and they brought this bottle. He said, I'll hand out vodka from the Rebbe in the party, and then that'll get rid of the vodka. So everyone's sitting, and they're all happy, and they're this. And, some of the people, they're, like I said, all of these people, Sephardic Jews, they're all like semi-religious, different degrees of being religious. Usually older people, they're more religious, and the younger ones less. And when they were in Morocco, everybody was religious. But when they came to Israel, okay, so they're in the middle of the party, and this comes in the rabbi from the next room. The rabbi is in the synagogue. So the rabbi comes in and says, can I have 9 Jews? I need 9 Jews. Says, what do you have to have 9 Jews for? Somebody says, what do you mean you have to have 9? He wants a minyan. He wants to have a minyan of Jews want to pray mincha. So they know how to pray. They know how to pray. So they go in the next room. They have a little kippahs, all of them in their pockets, and they put them on their heads. And those that don't have kippahs, yamas, the Rebbe gives them. And they're standing in the middle of the room is a bride and a groom. A bride and a groom, a young couple, and they're standing and they're alone. The room is just totally bare. And there's a bride and a groom. And the rabbi said, that's why I called you. I want to have a minyan for the blessings that you make for a bride and a groom. That's the law. That's the law. You're supposed to have a minyan, 10 Jews, and you make blessings. That's how Jews get married. So it's weird, what type of a wedding is this? Only 2 people are there. There's no guests whatsoever. So they look at the rabbi like this. The rabbi said, I'll explain to you later. So they say, okay. So they finish the ceremony. It takes them, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and everybody says, Mazel Tov, happy. So they asked the rabbi, what exactly happened over here? She said, well, the story is like this. The fellow, he's a convert. And the girl, she had been divorced. And the whole family sided with her husband that divorced her. Her own family. So the family rejected her. The family doesn't want anything to do with her. They're all mad at her. And they don't want to have anything to do with her. Somehow or other, her ex-husband convinced the whole family that she's not good. So they didn't come. They vetoed the wedding. They said, we're not going to come. And the groom, he's a convert, so he hasn't got any family. So that's why we need the people to come over. So this so David, the Asulin, he said, 1 minute. We have a party for them. We have a party already ready, made, right? Here, the next room, we're making a big party. We rented the party out, and we're making it for absolutely no reason. Let them come with us. So they come in, it says it's a bride and a groom, and everybody's happy. The Moroccan Jews, they know how to be happy there. And they're dancing, and they're happy, and they're singing, and they're dancing on the bride and the groom. The bride is crying from joy, and the groom is so happy. He has people, at least that are friends, and this. And he says, oh, now I have a bottle of vodka that the Lubavitcher Rebbe gave me for the wedding. So this is the wedding the Rebbe was talking about. he gave me this bottle of vodka for you. For you. She said, what? For me? And she started crying. The vodka. So she said, I want to explain something. After the whole thing died down and everybody drank the vodka, she said that I felt so miserable. My whole family disowned me. And here I was going to get married. I thought maybe I made a mistake. Maybe maybe the whole thing is a big mistake. So someone told me that I should write a letter to the Rebbe. So I wrote a letter to the Rebbe and I asked, and I got an answer back that he gave me a big blessing for the wedding. Big blessing. And the Rebbe said, I'll send you my gift, a gift for the wedding. Said, you'll have my gift for the wedding, something I don't know exactly what the language was. He said, the wedding should be successful. And he wrote down at the bottom, I'll send something else, my special blessing or something. In the end, I said, this is it. The Rebbe sent me a bottle of vodka for my wedding. True story. So the Rebbe foresaw this whole business, and he even gave a present to this Rabbi Asulin, who at first glance was just, accidentally by this forbringing of the Rebbe, was totally not planned. So this comes to show, and that's the job of the Mashiach in general, just like we finished learning, that every moment of life and every detail and place and time is really holy, and it's a big miracle and a big mystery. And sometimes we have things like this that show it. Have a good day with Mashiach now.
Thank you.